Hello friends, and welcome back to another video. Today we have something different, something new, something that I'm going to play around with because I am avoiding my enormous growing pile of journals to backlog on. And what I'm referring to is Traveler's Company dated inserts. So at the beginning of the year, I started with way too many journals, one of them being Traveler's Company 2024 diaries. So I have a monthly one for highlights of the day, and then I had the vertical one for memory keeping, and these two eventually had to get kicked out when I was dealing with a journal fatigue, planning fatigue, because of the early weeks of my pregnancy. But I'm in the second trimester. I have a lot of energy. I have a lot of free time, and I know I shouldn't pick this up because obviously when baby is due at the end of the year, I won't probably be able to keep up with adding this back into my rotation. But I think for right now and the creativity I have, it doesn't hurt, right? I have fully accepted that sometimes you have to abandon journals, and I'm okay with that. I've done it a few times now. I've picked up things back and forth throughout this year, and so I'm just going to go with the energy that I have, the inspiration and creativity that I have, and right now that is setting up my Traveler's Company dated inserts again for the second half of the year, because the July to December insert starts this week, the week that this video is going up, and so I thought I would decorate the covers. I've got a huge chunk of the first half of the year missing. I think I got to Valentine's Day mid-February, and that's where I fell off on both inserts, though I have gone in and backlogged this third week of June just to see how does it feel if I fill it up, how does it feel to backlog. And the monthly was really fast, so I do think I'm going to go back and backfill the months that I missed, which is March, April, and May. I was able to do June, and I'm able to keep up with it because it's just a highlight in each box, which is super easy to decorate too, because I don't really want to overfill the page that I can't write in one of the dates. And for the vertical, I am not going to backlog anything, though I did do a test spread for June, and it was really fun to do. I like that there isn't any photos because every other journal I have right now does have photos, and photos is what usually makes things a backlog because I have to wait for enough photos to print on a 4x6 with the Canon selfie. And so because I'm waiting to fill up a print, I'm usually 3-4 days behind, and so my 𝘎𝑦𝘓 becomes a weekly journal thing. I have to do a lot in one sitting if I want to keep up with it, whereas this vertical insert, because it's daily, I'm just logging what we did that day. I kind of like that it's a more creative way than writing in my 5-year journal. My 5-year journal just feels so bland to me. I'm using the same black ink for all of 2024. I don't know why I decided to do black ink when I don't write with black ink anywhere else. So I'm wanting to spice up my daily journaling routine, and I think the weekly vertical is the best way because it's my comfort. TNs are my comfort. I do have a lot of project journals right now, but nothing in my TN is daily. So I am technically adding something back into my rotation, something back into my schedule. Let's see how it goes. First, let's have fun decorating it. I want to focus on the July to December insert, which is the camel brown colored insert that I'm working on first. Usually when I decorate, I will go through every single deco element that I have. I'll go through my sticker release inserts, my PET storage insert. I will go through washi tapes, stamps, and everything. But it never fails that my good launching point is always to pick what girl, and that usually helps to give me direction because I'll look at the colors of the girl that I chose, what kind of style girl it is. And so I settled on a La Dolce Vita girl here, and She's kind of got a transparent background, and I didn't want her to get lost in the camel cover, and so I decided to use a frame. This is the Classic-y memo pad frame that I picked up from 𝘠𝘠𝘠 last year, and to be honest, it's one of my favorite frames. I don't buy a lot of memo pads or notepads because it can be really hard to use a lot of them up, but this one is a classic from Classic-y. This next piece here is actually part of the packaging from a rubber stamp that I purchased from Pen's Paper Planner, and it says, "We write to live life twice." And I really love that saying because memory keeping and writing things down is really just like reliving an experience. That's why I love travel journaling. I love memory keeping. I don't know where this has been my whole life, but having started memory keeping for the last year and a half now, I really hope that I can continue this and will have time to memory keep for the rest of my life, because it is so nice to just sit down, slow down, and appreciate the things that happen to you, happen around you, or happen to others, and you're celebrating for them. And so memory keeping, I think, is just such a beautiful way of journaling. It's so genuine, it's so humbling, and that is one of my favorite parts about this community. I never really entered this community under the planner sphere. It's been more of the memory keeping and journaling part of it, and so I am just really happy to have discovered this during a time in my life where there is a lot for me to document, and just getting to slow down these moments that are really fast, like moving, like watching my kids grow, and just simple things like going out to dinner. I get to relive that again, look for a really cute pet tape like ramen or a rubber stamp. I have one for ramen, and just getting to relive those moments on paper again. There's just something about the slowness that happens when you journal that I think we all need a lot more of. So back to some deco talk. It's really hard for me to layer again. I haven't done a lot of decorative, creative journaling lately. And what I mean by that is really intentional, really trying to make it as aesthetic as possible. My Hobonichi, while I do match deco to the activity and to the photos, it really is just somewhere for me to slap down a lot of things that I have and use it up. And I've learned to just use the things that I have. No more saving it for the perfect moment, no more waiting for the right occasion. If I like it, I should use it, and if it fits the page, I'll put it on. But when it comes to my TNs, I'm a lot more calculated. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I entered the TN world having followed certain accounts that are very aesthetic, very clean, very put together, and have a very certain look. And so when I started learning how to decorate, I would imitate or emulate those vibes and that look. I think that is kind of stuck with me. And while I don't feel limited, I do feel a little bit of pressure when it comes to decorating. Like, it needs to come all together perfectly. And I struggled a lot, to be honest, decorating this. I kept peeling back things, as I will that blue wreath pet tape. I will peel that back and reposition, and that's okay, because a lot of the times the composition and how things come together really change as you lay more things down, and you really have to find the right balance of things. So right now I found that what is guiding my eye are the 3 frames. So I now have 3 memo pad frames. I've got one with the girl, one that says 2024 part 2, and then another one at the top. And I kind of make it so that those large pieces of white paper is what's guiding your eye across in this like zigzag form. And so you'll see that I start to move around the pet tape because I'm also trying to balance the circles. So there is a circle within this first blue square. It has a pen paper planner sticker on it that has like journal items, journal accessories listed down. And then you have the circle of this blue wreath that I'm now moving, and then you have the circle of the girl in the frame. And so I'm also trying to balance that while balancing the memo pad note paper, while balancing the colors. So I ended up choosing things that were more blue and navy because the girl is in a blue navy frame. She's wearing a brown dress which matches the brown of the insert, and so then I started looking for brown and navy elements, and that's kind of how I picked the pet tape that I did. Here I found a piece of bread in a bag, and the text over it is blue. The bread is brown. You see where I'm going with this, right? And then to finish it off, I have some white pet tape, white elements, and it's really hard for me to use this because a lot of the time I'm decorating on white or cream paper and it's really hard to see. So these kinds of pet tape are really great over covers because of the colored cover. If you're curious about any of these pet tapes, I will try my best to link them in the description box, or at least name the brand. But a majority of everything that I buy or even get from Happy Mail is from Emma Stationery Haul. You can find all of this at Emma Stationery. There are La Dolce Vita girls. There is the bread brand. I forgot who the artist is, but the theme is bread and chocolates. And then the plus minus tapes can be found there as well. That's the white pet tapes. I don't know about the R Studio. That is the blue wreath, and I'm not too sure about the memo pads. You can find that pretty much at all stationery stores. I just don't know if Emma Stationery has it, but this is the finished product of the insert. I am stopping here before I add way too much, and so far I like it. We'll see. I can always add to it, you know, as the rest of the year goes and as I see it more. And now I'm going to move on to the monthly insert. It is a very bright red orange, and I want to really add a contrast color. Again, I'm starting with my girl of choice. It always helps to really guide me because I'll choose more colors based on what's on the pet tape on the first piece that I lay. And again, I don't want her to get lost in the background, so I do want to make her stand out with some paper ephemera. Going again with a white paper frame. This one says memo on it and it's super simple. I will stamp around it. My favorite stamp inks are Shashihara ink pads, and I really like to use gray. I think it blends in really well. It's not too harsh like a black would be, but I will use black to make things stand out. I wanted to match the color of the pet tape though, so I did pick a beige color because this is a Paon girl. She's wearing bright green, which I thought would contrast really well against the red and orange, and she's holding a bag of bread. I've got something going on with bread right now. I'm just loving bread decor. And so I used a beige stamp to really bring out that brown color from the paper bag and the baguette that's in her paper bag, and then a black stamp that says bit by bit, just to really stand out and pop over some of these elements. The stamps in this Toyo Craft toolbox is mostly filled with Kurukinki stamps, different collections, but pretty much everything that you see in that toolbox is Kurukinki. So I've got one that's filled with Kurukinki stamps and one that's filled with pen paper planner stamps, and they all fit in there so perfectly. I love miniature stamps. So I wanted to look at the first insert because they will lay together in the same TN. I didn't want to place the girl in the same spot. I almost did put her in the bottom right corner, but to have a little contrast but still symmetry, I put her in the top left corner, and that is where the rest of my deco is going to start to follow and balance out the page. So going again with another white frame. Since it's the monthly insert, I thought I would use this stamp that says spring, summer, autumn, and winter. great for all year round because it's going to have the full year of monthly calendars. And then going again, looking through my pet tape stickers, I am now going to look for things that go off of the color of the girl. So I found one that is actually another food label and it is green with some yellow in it. And so then I just kept that kind of going. I wonder if anyone is like me and is very seasonal with their colors. So normally all year round, I love browns, especially in the fall and winter. Fall is my favorite season, but once summer comes around, I love bright pastel colors. I'm talking yellow, pink, greens, like bright grass green, and then oranges. I am having a thing with orange right now. I love fall orange, like a pumpkin orange, burnt brick red, and now I'm liking burnt orange, but a summer version, exactly like the cover of this monthly insert. I don't know, it's something about the reawakening in the spring that makes me want to have a lot of bright new colors. So my wardrobe, my deco, everything in my life is pretty seasonal in colors. And then I go back to my olive, brown, burnt red, burnt orange in the fall and throughout winter. But going back, I really tried to hone in on the colors here. I did not like how this Wander sticker turned out. It just didn't feel like it matched the overall aesthetic and vibe. It felt a little too retro for the rest of the spread, and so I decided to put that back. But I had some other stickers that still had all the colors of orange, green, and yellow. And so here is just trying to find the placement of those last items because I've already laid things down. You want to fill in the blank space, but you need to find now the right shape and the right color. And it's hard because I am doing things in little groups and little clusters. And so to have something that's more standalone, I'm struggling on the placement of this. After I lay down this sticker is where I start to feel like, okay, I think I need to stop. I think I need to stop forcing myself to finish decorating this. I started to feel like, okay, I loved my first one. Now I'm trying to match the aesthetic and the vibe and the placement, but none of the elements that I was working with was starting to be cohesive. Here you can see I'm trying to force another bread sticker. Took that off, I found another replacement, and this is pretty much where I landed with the rest of the insert. I'll be using the same TN. This is my OG olive from 2017 release. I have the Traveler's Town tag that came with the 2024 collection if you were able to purchase 75 or more from Travelers Company USA site. And then I actually made the little bead charm that hangs under it. It's spells stationery and here is the finished TN. So I've got the monthly in the front. I will decorate the backs of these inserts. I just knew that you would see the back and the front of the next insert together, so I wanted to decorate the front and see how it looked first before I decorated the back. But that is all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. It's a little bit of deco talk through and a little bit of journal talk, but I hope you enjoyed nonetheless. Let me know how you like these voiceover videos. I would want to do more journal with me videos, but honestly it takes me forever to film. It takes maybe 45 or 50 minutes, and it's really hard for me to be able to talk through the journal with me videos, so I hope these suffice. I'll see you next time. Bye.